So I've received a comment, and it really caught my interest because she was asking, I was wondering if you have any thoughts to share about AATA. And that term is was unknown to me, so I did some research, and the term AATA is explained on this website. AATA means not created nor caused. There is no creation nor destruction, no bondage, no longing to be freed from bondage, no striving to be free from bondage, nor anyone who has attained freedom from bondage. Know that this is the ultimate truth. This description it points to AATA. And I can only talk about this idea from my own experience. So it is really hard to talk about it because it is not a state of being that you can attain through meditation. Because when you meditate, you have some sort of an idea of attaining a state. Because when you meditate, you think you get more relaxed and more relaxed and more relaxed. And at some point you're absolutely relaxed. You even have a feeling that there is this connection to the universe or something like that. And then automatically, because you have attained it, it implies that you can lose it again. But AATA is different because it says it is a realization that there is no one that could be freed. It is a recognition that things as they already are right now are perfect in a way. Not in a human way, because the human ego says only if it's like that it's perfect. As long as there's war, it cannot be perfect. Of course, that's how we are supposed to think. But there is a deeper kind of seeing, and it does not come from morality or something like that. It is the recognition of what things actually are. And I have had the experience, and ever since I had the experience, there's somehow the possibility for me to see every experience like that. You know, when there is the longing to be freed, then there is the assumption that there is somebody inside of this body that suffers this life experience. And there's also the idea that there are things, and they were created at some point, and I was also created at some point, and therefore this idea implies that I can die at some point, and things can die. Things can slip through my fingers and they can end, and this creates attachment and also the pain of holding on. This is the source of suffering. And in this final recognition that there is actually no one that could be freed because it's already free, to realize this, you kind of have to see that everything is sand. But the sand itself, even if it creates the form of something you fall in love with a certain kind of form, this form can die because it only exists in your mind. But the actual substance of this form cannot die. So this body, in 100 years, it's gonna be gone. But the thing out of which it consists is life itself, and this is really who I am. So it cannot die. So it really doesn't matter. Life itself is immortal, and life itself does not really suffer. We can also call it consciousness. And it is who you really are, and it's everything. Because every form that you can perceive, or every sound, or everything you can sense, consists of this consciousness, of this life itself, that was never really created. I think even Einstein said that energy itself cannot be created nor destroyed, and it's this realization that actually the forms, they can assume a form at some point seemingly, and they can lose this form, and then the mind, which is also a form, has the ability to assume some characteristics to this form, and it seems to be its own thing, but it's not. So you can see the world as life itself, which is like clay or sand, assuming a form, but the form is transient. But the thing that it really is, the actual substance of it, is not transient. It just like a chameleon. It assumes some colors, you know. But you have to see that it's really a chameleon. And that's all I can say about AATA, basically, according to my own experience. And when this understanding deepens throughout your daily life, you can get into this state of being, or see the state of being that is already here. And from there you can see that actually you don't have to control everything, or you don't have to grab or grasp something to understand something. You can simply be and see life as it unfolds. And you will see that sometimes when you think you have to make a hard decision, and right in this moment you relax and you wait and you trust. There's like a trust, but it's not a trust that you do. I do the trusting. No, it's just this. It's already good. Let's see how life unfolds. And you will see how this relaxation opens a room for inspiration, and there can be a decision that is not, that you did not do. It is not made by you. It's just a kind of life is manifesting itself through you. And then you will see how actually this life that is manifesting itself through you is not something that was happening because you had the intention to open yourself up for life to come through you. Actually realize that actually it was always life manifesting through you, and it's just life itself that is acting as every seemingly individual person. So there's no separation actually. It's just in the mind. And instead of seeing all these different clay figures, see that everything's clay. It is in clay, it's just a metaphor to point you to what it actually consists of, and the thing that it actually consists of is when you go deep inside of you and you relax in simple being, you can recognize yourself as the source of all these forms. So, and when there is this seeing, which is not something you can attain actually, look around. Like if you have some, if you know how to simply be, and you understand what I mean, that there is no such thing as an individual substance, but the thing that seemingly looks like an individual substance because it looks different than this kind of substance, you can see that they only differ in their forms, but still it doesn't matter how deep you go into the substance. You will only see new forms, but you will never really know what this form consists of. And this is something that I cannot explain. It's just something that, but I would like to explain it. But it's hard to explain it. I don't even know if it's truly possible to explain it, because if it is possible to explain it, I could just be there and give you like a philosophical answer, and then it would just click and then you're enlightened, or, you know, but it doesn't work like this. It's like you really have to question reality. And then at some point, somehow, something seems to happen that you will see how everything always was. Of course, it was always clay. It was never the forms. It's kind of like this. And then you just feel in your being that the substance of things is you, are you. Who you really are, beyond the personality, beyond the stories, beyond the person you believe yourself to be. And then it is actually you see, it is the form, the thing, the reality of what is already free. And this free reality can manifest as a person that claims to be a suffering person. And then that person says, I want to be free. And then it's complicated to guide this suffering person into a state of being where they can realize that they were always free. It was just in their mind. And this kind of freedom is not a freedom that keeps you from death. It is a kind of freedom that makes you accept death. This is why it's called freedom. It's like samurai. They accept that they're gonna die, and therefore they're not really afraid. So it is not something to really calm your ego. It is really something to kill your ego. Because the ego wants to maintain its own life. I want to have a happy end at some point, and therefore I'm trying to attain a beautiful state of being that is going to be everlasting. But actually what I'm pointing you to is, yes, you are going to die, but accepting that makes you transcend your ego, because only the ego is going to die. Who you really are as life itself, as the source of all creation, as the source of all forms, is not going to die. So yeah, those were the spontaneous thoughts that appeared to your about your question about AATA. Yes. So I think that's it. So don't forget to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe, and have a great day.